really matters is what you like, not what you are like. Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.
Gets better and better.
That's what I hear. I mean, I like what I've seen so far, but then I think it was after 11 last night, and I just started to fall asleep, so I turned it off. I'll go back to it.
Okay, we could talk about that show.
Well, yeah, once I finish watching it.
Yeah, well, is she palling around with Lenny Bruce yet?
That's like the second episode is her getting out of, bailing him out.
All right, then I don't want to tell you too much.
Well, yeah, I would appreciate that. I'm really liking it so far. So, I mean, but that was a pretty packed first episode. If it was all the first episode, that's like introducing her as a comic. She splits up with her husband. We meet, what's her name, who was on...
Oh, her manager.
Is that what she becomes, her manager?
Yeah. Well, sorry.
The one,
that was a spoiler.
Club owner or something?
Right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She works at the club, but she's a manager or an aspiring manager.
So she why can't I... Alex Borstein. That's her name.
Okay, she's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's also, I think, Lois on Family Guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew that voice sounded familiar.
And then she's like part of that whole Amy Sherman Palladino stable
crew
of actors. Yeah.
Okay.
She was she was actually supposed to play the Melissa McCarthy role in Gilmore Girls.
I could totally see that.
They wouldn't let her out of Mad TV to do it.
Aw.
So she just did guest star spots.
That's too bad. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan, I think, is very hot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that makes it fun to watch that show too.
There's no denying that. And she's hysterically funny too. Her timing is great.
She could be funny, yeah.
And I always like seeing Tony Shalhoub. He's
a dad, right?
Yeah, he's her dad. And
so curmudgeonly.
Yeah, it's great. What's his name is Kevin Pollak was in it for a little bit. I don't know if he comes back or not, but he's her ex's or soon to be ex's dad.
Okay.
So
yeah. Yes, almost everybody that you meet in the first episode comes in and out.
Comes back. Yeah, so that was
season 1, and then
anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed it enjoyed it, and I'll get back to it at some point. But yeah, I just I'm trying to think of what happened on Monday. Why that went?
Yeah, it was just yesterday. You can't even remember.
Because is today Tuesday?
Today's Tuesday.
Okay, so all that stuff was yesterday. All of that stuff was yesterday.
This is what happens when you only sleep for 3 hours.
I lose track of what day it is, all the time. Yeah.
I've been embracing that lately.
Yeah.
Because it just means that I'm doing a lot of things that I like. So, I mean, I'll show up at work.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it. I just go to the meetings where it says on my calendar I'm supposed to be. And then I peace out, and sometimes I just sit in my office for hours and work on my own stuff. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that on record.
In case anybody from...
nobody's listening from my school.
Is it too dark in here for you? I can turn the light
on. No, it's all right. We're just talking. We don't really need lights on.
That's true.
For that.
I may turn off the AC so it doesn't kick on while we're talking.
Okay.
That's kind of loud.
Production 101.
Right. Don't have the AC going, which it just gets harder and harder to do in the summer.
Well, I got lucky and I got to spend the weekend in LA, but that was intentional because I had tickets to Bikini Kill at the Palladium.
Nice.
Or Palladium. I never know how to pronounce
Palladium.
That. Yeah.
I've always heard it as Palladium.
In Hollywood. So I got to hang out with some of my best friends from college. Shout out to Andrea and Blake. And then Andrea and I went to Bikini Kill, and it was incredible. But we had gone to dinner. We missed the opening band, and I'm sorry that we did because they're called Linda Linda, and apparently the lead singer is an 11-year-old girl.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. So Kathleen Hanna, as soon as Bikini Kill got on stage, was like, Linda Linda was awesome. And if you guys missed it, you messed up. And Andrew and I kind of looked at each other. We're up in the balcony, and they started to play their set, and I went, oh, yeah, this is punk rock. All the songs are only a minute and a half long. And then I was like, wait a minute. Pretty sure Bikini Kill only recorded 2 full albums and like a handful of singles
or EPs, yeah.
So how long is this show going to be? And I kind of guessed an hour and a half, and it ended up being an hour and 45 minutes.
Okay.
And that was with a double encore.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So there's only one song that I like that I didn't hear, but almost everything I knew. I was afraid I was going to lose my voice because I was singing along with everything. Mm-hmm. And it was a really cool mixed crowd. Like, totally a lot of women, punk rockers, feminists, lesbians, but then a lot of men. And then a lot of people brought their daughters. So when we were looking down in the mosh pit, we could see these like 10, 11, 12-year-old girls that were on people's shoulders. And the mosh pit was full of other young people too, where I was just looking at them thinking, you're not young enough to have known this band when they like emerged.
Or old enough, yeah.
I mean, you're not old enough, yeah. So that means they discovered them somehow, and I think that's great. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I was talking about Squeeze, Elvis Costello, all of that stuff, I was not old enough to really discover the first time around.
You found it somehow. You just landed there.
Good music just kind of is out there to be discovered.
Bikini Kill is so iconic. I think they get name dropped a whole lot, so I feel like maybe that's why people would want to go back and look it up. And I was sort of telling Andrea, if they played a song from the Julie Ruin, which is one of Kathleen Hanna's solo or side projects, I'd be happy with that. And they didn't. And then I was like, no, okay, it's kind of cool that they're just staying true to the Bikini Kill songs, like just their catalog. And the original members, that was a very cool venue to visit also. Oh, and then when we were just walking through the lobby, I saw Bratmobile. Like the whole band, Bratmobile was just floating around. And then as soon as Bikini Kill got on stage, they're like, a shout out to our friends who are here from Olympia, Washington.
Oh, nice.
I was like, wow, that's really cool.
That is cool.
There was a real sort of community feeling to the show. It was fun. And then it got out early enough that we were able to hit one more bar in Hollywood before we had to go home. She's a mom, so
gotcha.
She had kids in bed already. And then the second night, after we did a beach day on Saturday, I saw Avengers Endgame.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which I think you saw,
I saw Sunday night,
this past weekend.
Yeah.
And then all the late shows, Sunday night and Monday, did you stay up for Colbert?
No.
Or James Corden?
No.
They were all making so many jokes about avoiding spoilers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, because it's kind of like
there was this thing that happened, and there was a plan, and they carried out the plan.
That's pretty funny. I mean, between Endgame and Game of Thrones, nobody can talk about anything, right?
Game of Thrones. I don't know what to think.
I haven't. I honestly, I haven't seen episode 1 of that show. I haven't seen a single one.
Thank you. Can we high five right now?
Sure.
I tried to watch episode 1 years ago, and I couldn't get through it, and it frustrated me because a lot of people I know and like and respect and appreciate their taste love this show.
Yeah, likewise. It's not that I don't want to see it. It's not that it's not like I'm an anti Game of Thrones person. When it started, I didn't have HBO, and I just never. It was just too much to try to tackle.
It's a lot. Okay, 45 minutes to almost an hour for each episode.
Yeah.
I need some kind of entry point. And it's not that I hate fantasy. Yeah. It's not that I even hate that sort of medieval time period or even the aesthetic. I like it, usually. Yeah. Kinda. I don't know. I'm told that you get into the storylines and the families.
It's kind of... So I had always... when it started, I was like, okay, I'm not... One of the reasons that I didn't get into it right away was because I told myself I was going to read the books first, and that's just a laugh. Yeah. There's no way I have time to do this. Not going to happen. Many. But this is one of those things now where it's turned into its own version of... I remember a friend of mine, right around the time The Sopranos was first airing, was like, he divided people into 2 camps, those who had HBO and those who didn't.
But you knew. I would go to work and the people talking about it at the water cooler. So cliche, but it was true. Those were the HBO Sopranos people, and if
It's
you didn't
very
have
much
HBO,
true.
you didn't know what you were missing.
Yeah, and now it's kind of like on that scale too of those who watch Game of Thrones and those who don't watch Game of Thrones.
Sopranos and 6 Feet Under were two shows almost back to back that once I did get the streaming services or whatever, I was like, okay, now I got to binge because I got to catch up because other people know these shows.
Yeah.
But then it was kind of fun. I love 6 Feet Under. That was such
I
a
watched
good show.
6 Feet Under as that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that was a
yeah.
great show.
Sopranos, I had to catch up because everyone was like, "Oh, what's the final episode going to be?
Haven't
How could
seen
they
all of
pull
it.
out any surprises?" Yeah,
But
very worthwhile. There's so many of the Game of Thrones. There's 8 seasons, right?
this is the final one, I believe. Yeah. This
So
is
my
the 8th.
girlfriend that I was visiting was like, "It's totally bingeable." I'm like, "Oh, really?" She's like, "Yeah, I just did it." I'm like, "How long did it take you?" Like 2.5 days. She's like, 10 days. I'm like, "Oh."
Well, but she's got kids, right? So there's probably some of that involved in there. And I'm pretty sure that each season's only like 10 or 13 episodes or something. So it's
No,
not
but
terrible.
Each one clocks at 45 minutes to an hour. That's a lot of my
come on.
life.
Come on.
That's a lot of hours.
How did you deal with the 3-hour plus Avengers?
You would be so proud of me.
Did you
I
sit
sat in
down?
my seat. I got up for one bathroom break, and also because the theater we were at in LA served wine.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I needed a top off. But I was awake and present for the whole thing. Also, it was really engaging.
It was riveting. It didn't feel like a 3-hour film.
No, I don't, again, trying not to do spoilers, but the first almost an hour, I was like, something's got to shift. Because if they pull this off, that's too short and quick and easy.
Yeah.
This movie can't be 3 hours long.
Right.
And then I was satisfied with the way that it continues. And, yeah, so then I just wanted to keep sitting there. I
Yeah.
was sort of like, had to pee, but I was sort of holding it, like squirming.
They did again without, because I think we're still in that window, and even though we're on a 2-week release cycle again, I think so this won't go up for another week or so, but it still just seems like it's too new out there for us to be spoiling
Talk
it. So
too much about
trying
the
to
plot.
talk
Okay.
about it without
All right.
spoiling it, I think that with that many people, and you know what, I meant to ask you if you wanted to do this
A different
this
chair.
time.
This one keeps me awake, so maybe I'll just stay in this one.
But for that many characters, that kind of ensemble, I thought they did a really great job with it, and nobody really got kind of lost in the shuffle.
No, everyone gets a moment.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah.
There were 2 times that I cried.
Me too. Yeah, it was very emotional.
Yeah.
It was it was like, I think the last time that something affected me like that was when, and you know what, this I can freaking spoil because it was years ago at this point.
Okay.
But when Han Solo gets stabbed by his son.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. Like when you see like the look on his face and he goes, I'm like, how could they kill Han Solo? Yeah.
Waterfalls.
Yeah, a little bit. Especially when Chewie starts roaring and I'm like, that's...
You can't
Yeah.
see a creature in pain. It's
Yeah.
just, that's too much.
It was his best friend. His life debt was to this. Yeah.
Aw,
So, anyway.
sad stuff.
Yeah.
Good job, Marvel. You pulled it off.
They really did. They
So,
really, really did.
Walking out of the theater, I think you would appreciate this. My buddy Blake was like, "Oh, well, there's got to be more," and because they never really did a really good Fantastic Four.
Well, now, I mean, it's all wide open, right? Because I think Fox owned 2 properties. They owned X-Men and Fantastic Four, I think. I'm pretty sure that was the other one. But anyway, now they're all part of Disney. So
Okay, yeah, right.
Marvel can come
They can
through.
do all the mashups that they want.
Yeah,
all the
it's going to be
crossovers.
pretty insane to see what they do with it. That's a lot to manage.
I
It
heard
was
there's-
already a lot to manage.
Going to be a new Guardians of the Galaxy, which is those guys again.
I guess James Gunn is back, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he had been booted for the whole kerfuffle over his old tweets and their insensitivity. But he's apparently back on board.
Huh. Interesting.
And he was in the credits for this one, too. So, yeah. And
Did you stay till the end of the credits? Was there anything else? Because we got up.
Well, that's almost its own spoiler.
Okay, damn it. Okay.
So, and one guy at the end was like, "Oh, that's it. That stinks. That's cheap." I'm like, dude, that was like a 3-hour whirlwind of